Hey everyone, do you remember this? That iconic red roof, the trapezoid windows, the dim lighting, the red checkered tablecloths, and maybe even a personal pan pizza you earned from the book It programmed for millions of us. This was Pizza Hut. It wasn't just a place to grab a pizza. It was a destination, a core childhood memory. But take a look around today. Where did they all go? Why is it so hard to find one of these classic red roof Pizza Huts anymore? Well, today we're diving deep into the history, the business decisions, and the changing tastes that led to the decline of the dine-in pizza king. It all started back in 1958 in Wichita, Kansas. Two brothers, Dan and Frank Carney, borrowed $600 from their mom to open a pizza place. The original building was small, and the sign only had room for 8 letters. Someone suggested it looked like a hut, and since they were serving pizza, well, Pizza Hut was born. The business was an immediate hit. A year later, in 1959, they started franchising, and a key part of their brand identity was the building itself. In 1969, a company architect named Richard D. Burke designed the iconic red roof building that we all know and love. This wasn't just a random design, it was a brilliant marketing move. In a pre-internet, pre-GPS world, that distinctive, easily recognizable roof was a beacon for hungry families driving down the highway. You could spot a Pizza Hut from a mile away. It was standardized, consistent, and it screamed family fun and affordable pizza inside. This strategy worked wonders. Throughout the 70s and 80s, Pizza Hut exploded. They were the undisputed champions of the pizza world, opening thousands of these dine-in locations across the country and around the globe. Inside, it was a whole experience. It was a proper sit-down restaurant. You'd get a menu, a server would take your order, and you'd drink soda from those classic red plastic cups. Many locations had salad bars, jukeboxes, and even arcade games like Pac-Man or Space Invaders. It was the go-to spot for birthday parties, post-game celebrations, and family dinners. Pizza Hut wasn't just selling pizza, they were selling an experience, and for a long time they were the only ones doing it on such a massive scale. So, if it was so successful, what went wrong? Well, the world started to change, and so did the way we eat pizza. The first major blow came from their competitors, but not in the way you might think. Domino's and Little Caesars weren't focused on the dine-in experience. Their business model was built on two things: speed and convenience. Domino's pioneered the 30 minutes, or its free delivery promise. Little Caesars pushed their pizza deal for 2 cheap ready-to-go pies. They didn't need expensive large-footprint restaurants with waitstaff and salad bars. They could operate out of small, low-cost storefronts in strip malls. This shift was monumental. As our lives got busier in the 90s and 2000s, people started prioritizing convenience over the sit-down experience. Why pack up the whole family and go out when you could have a hot pizza delivered right to your door? Pizza Hut, with its massive, expensive-to-maintain dine-in restaurants, was suddenly at a disadvantage. Their entire infrastructure was built around a model that was becoming less popular. They were a battleship in a world that was starting to favor nimble speedboats. Pizza Hut tried to adapt, of course. They pushed their own delivery and carryout services, even creating a new store model called Delco, which stands for Delivery and Carryout. But this created a new problem. They were now competing with themselves. The small, efficient Delco locations were much cheaper to build and operate than the big red roof restaurants. For franchisees, the choice was obvious. Why invest in a huge, costly dine-in building when you could make similar or even better profits from a smaller, delivery-focused unit? This led to a slow but steady decline of the red roof locations. As franchise agreements came up for renewal, many owners chose to relocate to smaller, more modern, and more profitable spaces. The old red roof buildings were expensive to heat, cool, and maintain. Their property taxes were higher. As sales from the dine-in portion of the business dwindled, it just didn't make financial sense to keep these massive restaurants open. Then there was the issue of the brand's image. Those iconic red roofs, once a symbol of modernity and family fun, started to look well dated. By the 2010s, they looked like relics from the 80s. Tastes had changed. Diners were now looking for more modern, fast casual experiences. Think Chipotle or Panera Bread. The dimly lit, carpeted dining rooms of old Pizza Huts felt out of step with the times. Pizza Hut corporate knew this, and in the mid-2010s they began a major rebranding effort, introducing new logos and new store designs that were sleeker, more modern, and had no red roof in sight. The goal was to pivot the brand to be seen as a leader in delivery and carryout, effectively letting the old dine-in model fade away. In 2019, the company made it official. They announced plans to close hundreds of their underperforming dine-in locations in the United States, accelerating the transition to a delivery and carryout-focused model. It was the final nail in the coffin for many of the remaining red roofs. The numbers were clear. The future of the pizza industry was in getting food to customers' homes as quickly and efficiently as possible, not in getting them to sit down in a restaurant. So, what happened to all those empty buildings? Well, that's a fascinating story in itself. They've been given a second life in some of the most creative ways imaginable, because the design is so distinctive. You can almost always tell when a business used to be a Pizza Hut. There are blogs and social media accounts dedicated to spotting these used to be a Pizza Hut buildings. They've been turned into everything: Chinese restaurants, pawn shops, law offices, laundromats, churches, and so much more. That iconic architectural branding, which was once Pizza Hut's greatest strength, now serves as a permanent, physical reminder of a bygone era. While you can still find a handful of classic dine-in locations, often called Pizza Hut classics, they are increasingly rare gems, lovingly maintained by franchisees who value the nostalgia. For the most part, the Pizza Hut of our childhood, the one with the red roof and the sit-down service, is a thing of the past. It wasn't one single failure, but a perfect storm of changing consumer habits, intense competition from delivery-focused rivals, and the high cost of maintaining an outdated business model. Pizza Hut didn't die, it evolved. It had to in order to survive.